We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We heard, as long as Vidur played the part of a Shudra, being cursed by Manduka Muni or Mandavya Muni, Aryama officiated at the post of Yamaraj to punish those who committed sinful acts. Having won his kingdom and observed the birth of one grandson competent to continue the noble tradition of his family, Maharaj Yudhishthir reigned peacefully and enjoyed uncommon opulence in cooperation with his younger brothers, who were all expert administrators to the common people. This we heard. Evam griheshu saktanam pramatanam tat ihaya atya kramat avigyatah kalah paramadustarah. Insurmountable, eternal time imperceptibly overcomes those who are too much attached to family affairs and are always engrossed in their thought. Purport: I am now happy. I have everything in order. My bank balance is quite enough. I can now give my children enough estate. I am now successful. The poor beggar sannyasis depend on God, but they come to beg from me. Therefore, I am more than the Supreme God. These are some of the thoughts which engross the insanely attached householder who is blind to the passing of eternal time. Our duration of life is measured, and no one is able to enhance it even by a second against the scheduled time ordained by the Supreme Will. Such valuable time, especially for the human being, should be cautiously spent, because even a second passed away imperceptibly cannot be replaced. We don't notice how time is passing. That is imperceptibly. So that even one moment cannot be replaced, even in exchange for thousands of golden coins amassed by hard labor. Every second of human life is meant for making an ultimate solution to the problems of life. That is, repetition of birth and death, and revolving in the cycle of 8,400,000 different species of life. The material body, which is subject to birth and death, diseases and old age, is the cause of all sufferings of the living being. Otherwise, the living being is eternal. He is never born, nor does he ever die. Foolish persons forget this problem. They do not know at all how to solve the problems of life, but become engrossed in temporary family affairs, not knowing that eternal time is passing away imperceptibly, and that their measured duration of life is diminishing every second without any solution to the big problem, namely a repetition of birth and death, disease and old age. This is called illusion. But such illusion cannot work on one who is awake in the devotional service of the Lord. Yudhishthir Maharaj and his brothers, the Pandavas, were all engaged in the service of the Lord Shri Krishna, and they had very little attraction for the illusory happiness of this material world. As we have discussed previously, Maharaj Yudhishthir was fixed in the service of the Lord Mukunda, or the Lord who can award salvation, and therefore he had no attraction even for such comforts of life as are available in the kingdom of heaven, because even the happiness obtained on the planet Brahmaloka is also temporary and illusory. Though Brahma has long life, and those who are staying there also, but still that is also temporary. Because the living being is eternal, he can be happy only in the eternal abode of the kingdom of God, from which no one returns to this region of repeated birth and death, disease and old age. Therefore, any comfort of life or any material happiness which does not warrant an eternal life is but illusion for the eternal living being. One who understands this factually is learned, and such a learned person can sacrifice any amount of material happiness to achieve the desired goal known as Brahma Sukham, or absolute happiness. Real transcendentalists are hungry for this happiness, and as a hungry man cannot be made happy by all comforts of life minus foodstuff, so the man hungry for eternal absolute happiness cannot be satisfied by any amount of material happiness. Therefore, the instruction described in this verse cannot be applied to Maharaj Yudhishthir or his brothers and mother. It was meant for persons like Dhritarashtra, for whom Vidur came especially to impart lessons. Atmavare drashtavyo, shrutavyo, mantavyo, nididhyasitabhyo. It is there in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. What is our actual necessity? This body, material body, requires material elements, transformation of them in the form of food, to get sustenance. But for Atma, another necessity is there. It is different. Like in car needs gasoline, oil, and these things. But the driver, he cannot survive by that. He needs bread and sabji and these things as his food. Like that, food for Atma is Atma. Different category. Atma vare drashtavyo, shotravyo, mantavyo, nididhyasitabhyo. You should see Atma. Here means Krishna, Paramatma. You should see him. You should hear about him. You should think about him, and you should know him or meditate on him. That is the necessity of Atma, the soul. Unless Atma gets that, cannot be happy. And any amount of material happiness, how much you may have it, cannot fill that gap in your Atma without love of Krishna. That is why you find Hiranyakashipu, he amassed 3 worlds, but still he was unhappy. Then ultimately he started drinking wine and these things. So no one, even in this world you can see, there is in scripture, but in this world also you can see very rich people like that. That Tata or someone rich, he committed suicide in Paris. So rich we cannot imagine. But why he did this? And so many others you can find. So that cannot give this Brahma Sukham or absolute happiness. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his name is Vishwambhar, one who maintains this world. Generally we think by giving food, education, medicine like this. But it is not meant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving love of Krishna. By that he is actually maintaining the Atmas, Jivas. By that they can be happy, not by anything material. Impossible. And that is all passing. It is temporary. So we have to re-establish our eternal relation with Krishna and serve him. Then we can actually be happy and can also see all things as they are, and other living entities as they are, and our relation with them, everything we can see. So for this we need to practice devotional practice under the guidance of bona fide Guru, by which to attract his grace. It is stated there in Vedanta Sutra, this question is there. Is it enough to just do your effort of Shravan Kirtan, or blessing of Guru is also necessary? It is written, blessing of Guru is necessary. He must bless you. But he will bless one who will do this sincere effort, those two fingers. But just by our effort we cannot get. And without our effort also we cannot get. Both are necessary. So what sadhana Guru gives, that we have to do, then he can bless and that will be revealed. That is why our Gurudev many times repeated this, that it is stated in Shastra that Krishna imparted that knowledge to Brahma. He could not get it by his own effort. And same is written in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu imparted that knowledge to Rupa Goswami. He gave him. So we need their blessing. Then we can get that realization of Brahma Sukh. So Maharaj Yudhishthir already had devotion. So it is not applied to him, but to Dhritarashtra. Vidura stat abhipretya Dhritarashtram abhashata Rajan nirgamyatam shigram pashyadam bhayam agatam. Our Gurudev also told fixed time is there. And outwardly we may see some causes there, some accident or some disease or something happens. But the real cause is the fruit of karma finished in that body, fixed time. So there are apparently due to those causes, but it is not. When the finish result, then cannot remain in that body. Has to go, like we see in the case of Chitraketu Maharaj. His son died. Then Chitraketu Maharaj was lamenting, and his mother also. So the Angira Rishi tried to enlighten him with transcendental knowledge. So he requested Narad to give him mantra. But Narad said now he is not ready. because still he is in that thinking. So then Narad, to remove that, he called the Jiva back and asked him, "Oh, dear boy, why you are leaving your parents? You don't see how much they are crying? Why you are leaving?" Then the Jiva asked, "Which parents do you mean?" I had many parents. So many lives I had parents. Which one you mean? Then Narad said, "This in front of you, they are crying." Then the Jiva said, "What I can do? My stay in this body, in this, was finished. So I had to go. I have no independent will here." And he explained. And same thing happened in Srivasa's house. His son died. Then Mahaprabhu called that boy back, Jiva, and asked him, "Why you left Srivas Thakur's house?" He said, "What I can do? I am not independent. How much I had my time to stay in his house, that time expired. So by your will I have to go. But I am very fortunate that in this life I got your darshan. So I am not worried. I will always remember you. Then I have no any problem." So in this way it is there. So here Sai Maharaj said that our duration of life is measured and no one is able to enhance it even by a second against scheduled time ordained by the supreme will. Krishna is giving the fruits of our actions, and this is all the time going on. No one can change. Material existence is like this. Only one who will submit to Krishna, he can destroy his aprarabdha karma, and that is reactions to past activities, either good or bad, worldly activities, pious or sinful, which are now stored. They are not yet giving their fruit in this life. That is called aprarabdha. It is there in seed, means that information is there. You did this good activity, so this is the result. But you are not yet getting that result. So that is aprarabdha karma. That is destroyed by devotion. And even prarabdha karma, that which already we are reaping the fruits. Like this body is our prarabdha karma. And this body, according to our past activities, this body has certain amount of duration. Here, duration of life is measured. This prarabdha karma. No one can prolong or shorten. So this prarabdha karma also can be destroyed by devotion. But you will find two cases. It is also stated in Vedanta Sutra. It is the evidences are given from Upanishads. For devotee, that verse is there in Namashtaka by Rupa Goswami. Prarabdha karma viroti veda. By chanting Harinam, one can destroy prarabdha karma. There. So here, there are two cases. In one case, prarabdha karma is, for devotee, is like almost destroyed. Just he's keeping this body. Why? Because Krishna wants to keep him in this world in order that he will preach to others. So although his prarabdha karma will play out as it was already destined, but that devotee, he will not suffer any suffering, because his mind is fully engrossed in Krishna. You will find in Kapil Bhagavan Devahuti, when Kapil Bhagavan was explaining the qualities of a sadhu, there he told, you will sometimes see sadhu is sick, but you should know he's not suffering. Outwardly you will see disease and everything, but he's not suffering because his mind is fully on me. Like if you are, Sai Maharaj told, like if you are flying on airplane and there is earthquake on the ground, you will not feel anything. Like that, devotee, he's fully away, detached from his body and mind. He's in his real self, in his Swarup. Although present there, so what is happening to body, that is not, he's not suffering that. I also got personal experience, I told many times about that our one God brother of our Gurudev, how Krishna made me understand. No, outwardly you are seeing devotee is suffering, pure devotee, but he is not. So in some case, Krishna keeps that devotee in this world in order to preach. In some case, Krishna removes that also, but that is not by his karma. That may be shorter period, as was, means for sadhana siddha, one devotee, like for example, according to his prarabdha karma, he was to live 85 years. But he was doing sadhana. By the age of 60, he got perfection. In sadhana, he realized himself, Sarup Siddhi. Then maybe Krishna will keep him in this world only for 65 years, not for 85. Can do like that. Or if Krishna wants, it is there written, or if Krishna wants, he may keep him longer in order to preach. One example we have, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj, successor of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. When Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Gosai Maharaj announced that he will be his successor, then Govinda Maharaj humbly said, no, I think it is not good, because according to my astrological chart, you can see I will have short life. I don't know what number he mentioned, but something like maybe 55 or something. So I think this will not be good. Then Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Dev Gosai Maharaj told, don't worry about this. I will give you long life. So really he was more than 90. So they are not under karma. They are under the will of Krishna. He can make short, he can make long. That is his will. But anyway, they are not suffering, those who are realized. And there also it is mentioned, yes, what will happen to that prarabdha karma of one devotee who got perfection, like at the age of 60, and Krishna takes him back home, back to Godhead, but there is some remaining his prarabdha karma. It is written, his good actions, that pious actions, which will give some good material results, they will go to his friends. They will get that fruit. And sinful activities will go to his enemies, means those who are against him. Reactions. Then there is doubt in Vedanta how this is possible. then like prarabdha karma is something like you can just transfer. It is not like something that you can transfer. And also then another person will get something which he did not earn, either good or bad. He did not earn by his own actions. How this doubt is there? Then it is replied, no, it is like that. It is in Upanishad, evidence is there. Shruti says, Shastra says that it is possible. For Krishna, everything is possible. And for devotee who has that pure devotion, for him also everything is possible. Because that is so powerful. So it happens that in this case only it can be transferred. Otherwise it is not possible. That you will reap the fruits of someone else or you can give to someone else, that is not possible in ordinary dealings. But in the case of Krishna and pure devotees, there is always some possibility. So, but for general, fixed time is there. So it is like, this is this world. Mahatma Vidur knew all this, and therefore he addressed Dhritarashtra saying, "My dear king, please get out of here immediately. Do not delay. Just see how fear has overtaken you." Pratikriya nayasyeha kutaschit karhichit prabho sa esha bhagavan kala sarvesham nah samagataha. This frightful situation cannot be remedied by any person in this material world. My Lord, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as eternal time or Kala that has approached us all. Purport. There is no superior power which can check the cruel hands of death. No one wants to die, however acute the source of bodily sufferings may be. Even in the days of so-called scientific advancement of knowledge, there is no remedial measure either for old age or for death. Old age is the notice of the arrival of death, served by cruel time, and no one can refuse to accept either summon calls or the supreme judgment of eternal time. This is explained before Dhritarashtra because he might ask Vidur to find out some remedial measure for the imminent fearful situation, as he had ordered many times before. Before ordering, however, Vidur informed Dhritarashtra that there was no remedial measure by anyone or from any source in this material world. And because there is no such thing in the material world, that is identical with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as it is said by Lord Himself in the Bhagavad Gita. That cannot be checked by anyone or from any source within this material world. Hiranyakashipu wanted to be immortal and underwent a severe type of penance by which the whole universe trembled, and Brahma himself approached him to dissuade Hiranyakashipu from such a severe type of penance. Hiranyakashipu asked Brahma to award him the blessings of immortality, but Brahma said that he himself was subject to death, even in the topmost planet. So how could he award him the benediction of immortality? So there is death even in the topmost planet of this universe, and what to speak of other planets, which are far, far inferior in quality to Brahmaloka. the residing planet of Brahma. Wherever there is the influence of eternal time, there is this set of tribulations, namely birth, disease, old age, and death, and all of them are invincible. No one can conquer them. That is invincible. No one can win. Yena cheva bhi panoyam praneh priyatamair api janah sadhyo viyujeta kim utanyer dhanadibhih. Whoever is under the influence of Supreme Kala, eternal time, must surrender his most dear life, and what to speak of other things such as wealth, honor, children, land, and home. Here Sai Maharaj is telling, a great Indian scientist busy in the plan-making business was suddenly called by invincible eternal time while going to attend a very important meeting of the planning commission, and he had to surrender his life, wife, children, house, land, wealth, etc. During the political upsurge in India and its division into Pakistan and Hindustan, so many rich and influential Indians had to surrender life, property, and honor due to the influence of time. And there are hundreds and thousands of examples like that all over the world, all over the universe, which are all effects of the influence of time. Therefore, the conclusion is that there is no powerful living being within the universe who can overcome the influence of time. Many poets have written verses lamenting the influence of time. Many devastations have taken place over the universes due to the influence of time, and no one could check them by any means. Even in our daily life, so many things come and go in which we have no hand, but we have to suffer or tolerate them without remedial measure. That is the result of time. Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, even you will find sun will be destroyed. The sun, planet, sun, everything is. Pitri, Bratri, Suhrit, Putra, Hataste, Vigatam, Vayam, Atma cha Jaraya, Grasta, Parageham Upasa se. Your father, brother, well-wishers and sons are all dead and passed away. You yourself have expended the major portion of your life. Your body is now overtaken by invalidity, and you are living in the home of another. Andah puraiva vadiro manda pragyascha sampratam vishirna danto mandagnih saragah kapam udvahan. You have been blind from your very birth, and recently you have become hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened, and your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose. Your liver is defective, and you are coughing up mucus. Aho mahiyasi jantor, jivitasha yatha bhavan, bhima pavarjitam pindam adate griha palavat. Alas, how powerful are the hopes of a living being to continue his life. Verily, you are living just like a household dog and are eating remnants of food given by Bhima. Agnir nisrishto datascha garo darascha dushitaha hritam kshetram dhanam yesham tadater asubih kiyat. There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you try to kill by arson and poisoning. Arson in Slovenian language means požig, to put on fire that house or some property or something. You also insulted one of their wives and usurped their kingdom and wealth. Tasyapi tava dehoyam kripanasya jijivisho pareti anichato jirno jaraya vasasi iva. Despite your unwillingness to die and your desire to live, even at the cost of honor and prestige, your miserly body will certainly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment. Gata svartam imam deham virakto mukta bandhana avigyata gatir jahyat savai dhira udahritaha. He is called undisturbed who goes to an unknown, remote place and, freed from all obligations, quits his material body when it has become useless. Our Gurudev explained that before, in old ancient times, the kings, those who were pious, when they became old, they gave all property and everything to sons. And they went to forest and they did bhajan. Because in those days, forests were, you could live in forest. There was clean water by the springs. And in India also, it is not so cold that you need some necessary heating. And they could get fruits and these things, and only in some parts of the forest which were known, there were ferocious animals, but in some parts they did not come. So they were staying there and they were doing bhajan, and they could undisturbed, they could give up their body when the time came. Because our Gurudev told, if you have so much money, so much property, so much fame and attachment to all those things, then when the time will come, it will be very painful. The more you are attached, the more it is painful. So they detached themselves, and when the time came, they said, yes, I have nothing, I am alone, you take me. They were doing bhajan. So that is good for us to see the reality and immediately start bhajan. Of course, now it is not possible to live in forest. Maybe in some places in India it is possible, or some, but that is like more exceptional. But to live, like as Prahlad said, that sattvic life means with detachment, not with enjoying spirit and all this, but with detachment and worshipping Krishna. Then you can be peaceful in this world and in next. Also, I read in Chandogya Upanishad, one who knows Supreme Lord, who is all pervading, he eats his food in all the worlds, in all elements, in all hearts. This is literal meaning. But then if you see commentary of Ramanuja, it means Like our Gurudev used to explain, you become a child of Supreme Lord, then everything will be yours. Because owner of everything is Krishna. He is the actual owner. No one is actual owner. We get and we lose. So that time, but Krishna is the actual owner, not only of material universes, unlimited, but of transcendental. He's eternal owner, everything. So if you are his child, then what can be lacking for you? Everything is available for you because you are his child. And he is your protector. Who can harm you if Krishna, who is omnipotent, is your protector and you are his child? He has affection for you. That is why they are undisturbed. So there, it is explained by Ramanuja, this eating food means you will be happy everywhere. You will experience Supreme Lord everywhere, and everything will be provided for you everywhere. In this material world, everywhere. Because everything is his, and everything is he's all provide everything. So, for one who has a relationship with Krishna, he eats food everywhere. Means experiences joy of Supreme Lord, the transcendental Brahma Sukham. There it is also mentioned. He experiences Brahman everywhere. In every heart, Krishna is there. In every element, Krishna is there. In all worlds, Krishna is there. And you know him by your relationship with him. So how there can be any problem at any time, in any place for you? So that is the only solution. We have to awake our relationship with Krishna. Yes. Here Sai Maharaj is telling. This is, however, yes. Okay, I can read. It is very instructive. Narottam Das Thakur, a great devotee and acharya of the Gauriya Vaishnava sect, means our previous guru, has sung, "My Lord, I have simply wasted my life. Having obtained the human body, I have neglected to worship your lotus, your lordship, and therefore I have willingly drunk poison." Hari Hari Bipole Ja Nama Govainu Manushya Janama Paya Radha Krishna Na Bhojiya Janiya Shuniya Bishokhainu. This song. I got this human life, but I did not worship you. I drank poison. Then Sai Maharaj is saying, in other words, the human body is especially meant for cultivating knowledge of devotional service to the Lord. This should be our target, not other material enjoyments and all these things. Is especially meant for cultivating knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, without which life becomes full of anxieties and miserable conditions. Therefore, one who has spoiled his life without such cultural activities is advised to leave home without knowledge of friends and relatives, and being thus freed from all obligations of family, society, country, etc., give up the body at some unknown destination, so that others may not know where and how he has met his death. Dhira means one who is not disturbed, even when there is sufficient provocation. One cannot give up a comfortable family life due to his affectionate relation with wife and children. Self-realization is obstructed by such undue affection for family, and if anyone is at all able to forget such a relation, he is called undisturbed or dhira. This is, however, the path of renunciation based on frustrated life. But stabilization of such renunciation is possible only by association with bona fide saints and self-realized souls, by which one can be engaged in the loving devotional service of the Lord. Sincere surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is possible by awakening the transcendental sense of service. This is made possible by association with pure devotees of the Lord. This we have to awaken, that relation with Krishna and service attitude to him. This can solve all problems, only this. Dhritarashtra was lucky enough to have a brother whose very association was a source of liberation for this frustrated life. Yah swakat paratoveha jata. No, jata. It is different. If you say jata or jata, meaning is different. So you have to be careful. When there is a and that line on top, there you have to put emphasis. Jata. Nirveda atmavan hridi kritva harim gehat pravrajet sa narotama. He is certainly a first-class man who awakens and understands, either by himself or from others, the falsity and misery of this material world, and thus leaves home and depends fully on the personality of Godhead residing within his heart. Or you may do this in-house also, but that surrender you have to do. Then your vision will change, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur spoke in Sharanagati songs. He fully surrendered to him and his vision changed. This is your house. I am servant in your house. All these family members, they are your servants. They are not mine. They are all jivas coming from you. They are your servants. So he saw everything in relation to Krishna and fully depending on Krishna. Tomara bhojan? No. Tomara prasad sevya? That your prasad will be my food every day. Your prasad. So that consciousness we have to get. Physically changing place cannot automatically give you that. But surrendering to Krishna and getting that vision, then but that surrender we have to learn from surrendered soul. We have to follow, like when you go to doctor, you are diseased. So doctor will prescribe medicine according to your disease and also diet. If we follow that, then we can be cured. Like that, if we follow instruction of pure devotee, really following sincerely, not for show, for some name and fame on this, then we will deprive ourselves. We are cheating ourselves. We think we will gain, yes, I will get respect and I will feel nice and all this. But Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained, like if you go to one blacksmith to order some tools for yourself, and you bring your own some cheap iron. Like if you order directly, he may give some high price. So you're thinking, better I myself bring some cheap iron, then I will be benefited. But the thing is, he's doing that tool for you. You will have bad tools. They will not last long and like this. So you are not cheating him. You are cheating yourself. Like that, if we are not sincerely worshipping Krishna for his satisfaction, really doing for him, but making some show, then we are cheating ourselves. We will not get the real proper result. We are cheating ourselves, not Krishna. We can get result when we do sincerely. So tomorrow is the disappearance day, I think, of Madhvacharya. He's our guru in Preceptorial Channel. He's a realized soul. He's Bhim. And by the grace of Gurudev, we can get that knowledge. And what we have to do so that we'll get realization, then that realization will solve all problems and give us blissful eternal life. Tomorrow we'll hear.